Hi, this is Kevin Trainer, and welcome to part one of my tutorial for the third edition of the Zelle Python book, Chapter 5. And here we are. I've created a project to hold my tutorial. It doesn't have the name that your work is, the work that you hand in is going to have. And the first program that I'm going to show you is called Vowel Analytics. So let's get that started. I think the name of the program is a little bit optimistic, but as you'll see, what we're doing is only in the very basic sense analytics. But I thought it was kind of a cool name, so I decided to use it. Okay, and here I'm going to copy in the comments from my already baked version and try to get the text to be about the size we would like it to be. Okay, so the file is Vowel Analytics. We say analyze one line of text, reporting on how many vowels each word contains in the line of text. Also, report the number of words that were analyzed. Okay, so this is going to be a line of text is going to be entered on the console, because we're not going to fool with files, explicit files, until the next of our tutorials. Okay, so what I would typically do now is I'd show you me creating a pseudocode for this. At least that's what I did in the last couple of chapters. And I would like you to think about what the pseudocode would be for something like this. Okay, we have to get a line of input. Okay, we're going to have to break that line up into words, and then we're going to have to somehow go through each of the words that are on the line, and we're going to have to really accumulate the number of words that have A, E, I, O, or U in them. Okay? I'm sorry. For each word, we want the count of A, E, I, O, or U. And then we want to print out the word has a certain count of vowels. And then at the end, after we've done all of them, we want to print out that a certain account of words were analyzed. Okay, so if you'd like to do it, put this on pause. Put some pseudocode down. See what you think of. Kind of think ahead to the program. And when we come back from pause, then you'll see what I did. Okay, so now we're back from pause, and I'm going to show you what I did. So, what did I do? Well, first of all, we need, sort of the basic layout of a program as we're doing it, standard ways. And we're going to create a main. We're going to put the word pass into it, because that is it's a no operation word, and it will keep the interpreter from complaining that it's empty until we get ready to go. Okay, so what kind of pseudocode did I have? Well, I'll show you the pseudocode that I had. I'm just going to copy in the lines, and I'm going to put them into main. So the first one, I decided I was going to get a line of text from the user. Okay, so let's do that. Let's put that in there. Well, geez, that's not what I wanted at all. All right. Sometimes when I'm trying to copy these comments, they don't do what I want them to do. And then I want to do some kind of processing. Okay, I want to again, I want to try to fit this into that kind of general pattern: input, process, output. Just because it's really something that you can put almost any program into. Okay, and I find that very helpful. And then I want to create some output, right? Okay, and I've got that. And I need 2 blank lines between the end of the main and the call to main. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to give ourselves some room. Okay. So getting a line of text input from the user is pretty simple stuff. Okay. So we've done that before. So that's probably something that you thought of. And if so, I'm glad. Okay. All right. So what's the next thing we want to do? Do we want to go on to processing? And I'm going to say that if we're counting letters, okay, we have the problem that they occur in uppercase and lowercase. And a common approach to this is just to convert the text in the line to lowercase, and then you only have to look for the lowercase ones. So we're going to do that. Right after we get the line, we're going to convert the line to lowercase. Okay? So we call that lower line. It's the lowercase version of the line. Okay, now what's going to be processing, what's going to be output? This is kind of in the eye of the beholder. I'm going to clearly put into processing what has to be done to kind of pre-process the input in order to be ready for the output. And what has to be done is you need to split the line into words. Okay? And it's pretty easy to do. We're just going to use the split method of the string class. So we just call split on lower line. And what do we get back? Well, we get back a list of strings that were split on, the default is split on space. Okay, well that looks good. Now, I'm going to say that going through the list and printing out the analysis of this, since we're printing as we're analyzing, I'm going to say, yeah, there's certainly some processing there, but the primary thing that's going on is we are creating output. Okay? And let me show you what I've got for that. Okay? It might be something that you go, oh, yeah, I was thinking of doing something like that. It might be something that you might say, oh, that's a little trickier than I thought. So, one of the nice things about these text files is we can well, this isn't really this is the simplest case of a text file because it's one line from a text file. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself to the next example that we're going to be working on. But so one of the nice things that we can do is that we can split a line, and then we can use for in to iterate over the words that are in the list that come out of the split. Okay. And what's in the body of that loop? Well, we're going to accumulate the count of vowels. So we're going to use this kind of accumulator pattern in a very tight space. What we're going to do is we're going to set the vowel count for the word to 0. Okay, and then we're going to use the count method of the string class to call for each of the words. We're going to be looking at them one by one, right, as we iterate over each item in the list. Okay, and we're going to say we're going to add the count of A. We don't have to worry about uppercase a because we've already converted those to lowercase a. So we're going to add the count of A, and then we're going to do it for each of the vowels. So we zero out the total vowel count, and then we add the A's, the E's, the I's, the O's, the U's, and now we have the total vowels in the word. Okay, and then we can print word, which is going to print out the word itself, has vowel count vowels. Okay, so let's test that out so far. That's not all the requirements, but now that should be pretty testable. So I'm going to run Vowel Analytics and make that a little bit bigger. And so let's say the line that I want to do is my famous "How now, brown cow." One of the things that they used to teach us in typing class, which I took in high school summer school. That probably dates me. So let's see that we got. How has 1 vowels, now has 1 vowels, brown has 1 vowels, cow has 1 vowels. Okay, now is that perfect? Well, no, it's not perfect, because normally we would say how has 1 vowel. Okay, so if there's only 1, we're going to give the singular, and if there is 0 or 2 or more, we would give the plural. But the code trick for doing that is ahead of us. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that. It's a little rough, but we're going to take rough. But that looks right. Okay, so I may want to test it by running it again and saying something like ABC, XYZ, EU, OI, XXX. And, well, looks pretty good to me. Okay, so I think that's pretty good testing. I think that we have that all done. Do we have all the requirements covered? No, we don't, because the other thing I said was also report the number of words that were analyzed. Well, we haven't been accumulating a number of words, so we can't really print that out. But because our words are in a list, we just have to ask for the length of the list. So the one thing that we're going to do after we're done with the loop, right, we're going to come down here, and we're going to say this. We're going to say print, and then we're going to ask for the length of words. Okay, so words is the list. We want the number of items in the list. And then we'll say words were analyzed. And now we got rid of one of our blank lines between the end of the main and the call to the main, so we have to add one there. So let's see that. Let's give this thing a run. Okay. And let's give it a little bit longer sentence. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Another typing class goodie. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Okay, and then I'm going to hit enter. And let's look at what we have. The has 1, quick has 2, brown has 1, fox has 1, jumped has 2, over has 2, the has 1, lazy has 1, dog has 1. 9 words were analyzed. So let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm liking it. Okay? So it's pretty simple stuff, but okay, we had to remember how to split the line into words, right? We had to know the trick to shift all of the we had to shift all the text to lowercase so that we didn't have to check for 10 things. We only had to check for 5 things, right? Now we could have I think this is the approach where we shift the line and only check for half of the number of characters is considered a best practice. So I definitely want you to do that. Okay? So that's that. What's this going to correspond to in terms of what you're going to do? Well, you're going to be the one that you're going to do on your own. You're going to be doing your own. You're going to be getting a line of text from the console, and you're going to be counting something different. Okay? But the general approach is going to be the same. So you should be able to model your solution after mine. So I'm going to say bye until I'm back in part 2. Bye-bye.